And I'm going to catch everybody up on how standings are going so far into the Dragon Warrior Randomizer Tournament, Week 4. Both these players are sitting at 3-0, hoping to join Mr. Holmes and High Spirits at 4-0, who participated in two razor-close races this week. Both of them under 5 minutes between High Spirits and Jay Coper, Smashy, and Mr. Holmes. And either Ryguy or Lorgon is looking to put themselves in prime position to potentially get to that coveted 5-0 mark in the Swiss round.
Yeah, and we'll get that coveted number 1 or number 2 seed, and away we go with Lorgon. So now we will see what's in these chests, and hopefully they are going to have a great time. And yes, Eternal Newbie, this is Short Charlock. So we have some fairy water, more fairy water, and gold.
I'm going to call this the Exorcist seed.
Yep. Problem with Lorgon is 505, not enough to get a hand axe. Meanwhile, Ryguy got 698. That is prime for the hand axe. And we got some gold, a cursed belt, the fairy flute, and gold. And Ryguy, unfortunately, did not activate the gold grind. Meanwhile, Lorgon has the gold grind. He is going to be grinding all the way to 33,000 and get the flame sword, the magic armor, and, more importantly, the silver shield.
You know, I'm not as upset about Ryguy's play there because you don't know which of those gold chests is going to be it. If you explore, and actually there's a town available right there, so now Ryguy has the opportunity, knowing which gold chests are there, to figure out what towns are in the surrounding area, how much gold he needs to grind, and then can reset and do it over, only burning about a minute and a half of game time. This isn't a bad idea now. He knows he can get a silver shield, whereas Lorgon only grounds to 56 and can't afford that silver shield, so he's in the same boat as Ryguy. It looks like Ryguy's going to play with it, though, and keep on soldiering on.
No, but Ryguy decides to do a reset. He's going to restart, and it looks like both of them are going to go after that silver shield.
It's a commentator's curse, right?
Yeah, I've seen it happen every race. I mean, I admit to have said something that turned out to be the opposite when it comes to calling races. I'm pretty sure you have, and anybody who has commentated in one of these races has had something that's backfired on.
I mean, it's really very simple math. If you grind now, you don't have to grind the rest of the game, and you know that silver shield is within walking distance, very close walking distance, in fact, and you're only going to get a few more opportunities to grind gold, and when are you going to be regretful that you have the best shield in the game?
Never.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, Zarnax. I wasn't sure if Ryguy had already saved after he had picked up the chest, though, so I wasn't.
It looks like the number to grind will be about 15,900. They could start with a club, the half plate, and the silver shield. So they're already going to have an additional, 30 defense power?
And I believe the best weapon was a club and the best armor was half plate. So they really only need to grind to 16,000. And that hurt, discovered by Lorgon, is going to open up some possibilities as well, as they're going to see two within striking distance pretty.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty darn quick. And there's Lorgon buying his silver shield, going to buy the half plate, and going to buy the club. Which is also a very popular sandwich in Alefgard.
I think right now, as much as I'm tempted to suggest that Lorgon should go get the dragon scale and the herbs, you're going to have a lot of opportunities right away, and you have gold right downstairs, and you never have to burn a key to get it. I'd feel kind of froggy, want to get out there, get that level, and see if maybe I could be the first one to get a big...
Well, looks like Commentator's Curse strikes again. Lorgon is going for his herbs. He's going to go for a torch and a dragon scale.
Yeah, of course, they're both gonna do it.
It's this type of setup that both of these runners know so well that's gotten them to 3-0, I believe.
Definitely. And they're also prepared because it is Big Swamp. If Ryguy's lucky enough to find a town, he'll be able to afford a broadsword, and if Lorgon can get there, it's really only a copper sword that's going to be available. Because keys aren't really necessary, the only really problem that you could get into in terms of gold would be running out of herbs at Cantlin or something of that nature. But even that's not that big of a problem.
There's Lorgon looking for some enemies above the castle. Gonna give him a good old-fashioned taste of hurt, unless it's something big.
If you spend the whole early part of the game grinding, getting those levels up, and you get hurt more, you get level 5 or 6, and you're able to rocket through the beginning part of the game, then you can maximize that HP gain, hopefully get repel, and really avoid some of these encounters that are going to hamper your opponent.
And unfortunately for Lorgon, had a good strategy, but unfortunately had hurt more. And it looks like Ryguy not using hurt.
He didn't check his moves, but he gets a critical hit or excellent move and is able to take down the magic.
Power 5, speed 5, and nothing for either one. Empty Eye is happy about that.
I gotta say, right now, Lorgon has some information that's very important, but he also has Stop Spell. Stop Spell is going to nullify that Warlock's ability to hurt him with that hurt more, and it's a winnable fight if you can land a Stop Spell, a sleep, a couple of hurts, maybe? Nah, it might be a little bit too short into the damage.
Not against that Warlock, but maybe later on against that Wyvern. Lorgon looks like to do some exploring underneath the castle, seeing what's underneath there, and so is Ryguy.
It only makes sense after you run into an opponent that's really able to take you out in your safe walking tiles. Check the basement. Best case scenario, you have a new set of enemies, maybe even a metal slime. At level 1, to get a metal slime in your basement is a real nice bonus. Or to have a free item. Maybe it's... Well, we already got 2 fairy waters. I think it seems like it's time to get it.
And we'll see what it is. It's the wings, so a quick return to Tantagil to heal up. So nothing venture, nothing gain. Well, it's helpful, but not what either runner is wanting. They would have preferred something like a Erdrick Sword or a key item. And we should explain the rules of Dragon Warrior Randomizer. And it goes a little something like this. In order to win the game, you gotta defeat the Dragon Lord. In order to defeat the Dragon Lord, you gotta get the 3 key items in order to get into Charlock Castle. And those are the Stones of Sunlight, the Silver Harp, and the Token. You trade in that Silver Harp for the Staff of Rain. You trade in all 3 of those items to get your Rainbow Drop. That opens up Charlock. Normally, you'd have to do a deep dive into Charlock, but because they're running short Charlock, you just go straight to the top floor and try to defeat the Dragon Lord that way.
And Ryguy was able to land 2 consecutive hurts and kills that Warlock. It's just a show on RNG, luck for one and not luck for the other, when Lorgon got hit with 2 hurt mores by the Warlocks, and Ryguy was able to take him out with 2 clean hurt. And we see a big MP gain. You got 10 now, so that's 1 more hurt. Oh, and 16 strength if you're into that. And now, at level 4, Heal More has opened up, and we start to see a little bit different survival capabilities for Ryguy, as he has ability to recover via magic. My mistake about the level. I thought that he was only on 3 based on that graphic. Now he's on 4. Yeah, I thought I saw a big MP gain, and when I looked at the tracker, I thought maybe it just was a trick that was played on my. And stop spell is landed for Lorgon, who is taking bits and pieces, 4 and 5 at a time, and is able to take down the Warlock and take the EX. And the Druin Lord cannot seem to land asleep because stop spell's been landed, and now 9 at a time, Ryguy is going to take on the Druin Lord. Lorgon's attack is so high at level 4 that he's able to make the Magidrake run away from not being able to really attack and kill them a few minutes ago. And the Druin Lord goes down for Ryguy, who gets that 57 EXP and moderate gains to agility, health, and MP. Oh, Ryguy has one. I haven't seen him die. I saw. Do you count the reset as one death or no? Well, I think he just had the initial reset to redo the gold grind in the beginning, and then the one death. Thank you, Furious K. And we have a stop spell on the Scorpion, which lands, so Scorpion's not able to land hurt more. That leaves, I think, the Druin Lord, the Warlock, and the Scorpion are all susceptible to stop spell. That level 5 is going to get 3 speed, no hit points, and 4 magic. Level 6 brings a ton of agility, 17 for Ryguy, no HP, 10 empty. Empty Eye is pretty happy. It is a 3rd HP in a row, and without that HP buff, it probably would have been negative. Just kidding. And it looks like Ryguy has begun to explore the mountain cave? Or is that... Yeah, it looks like... I saw that he had picked up an herb, but I didn't see any of the other items, and it looks like Ryguy might be in a little bit of a pickle, caught in an area. Lorgon is exploring the Overworld map and trying to avoid certain encounters, whereas Ryguy has been able to capitalize on a few Druin Lord fights and has taken a 2-to-1 experience lead in the early part of the game, and these Magidrake seem to keep running away from Lord.
And it looks like Ryguy's gonna death warp out of here.
I like the move, and with Heal More, it might not be a bad idea to grind up to something where you can possibly get a nice weapon like a broadsword or better, considering you have the gold red available there. Or you might want to grind all the way up to enough to afford magic armor so you can have some recovery for hit points. Or you might just want to go explore the rest of the map because you haven't done any of that yet to find another town where you can spend.
And good shot for Ryguy. Although Lorgon knows where Silverheart Cave is, Ryguy actually got it.
And I think Lorgon is going to be right on his tail. They have pretty high defense early in the game, but these encounters with Magi Wyvern are not going to go their way because they don't have enough HP to really. And unfortunately, Lorgon has to find out that the Druid Lords have sleep the hard way. That Silver Shield's going to provide enough defensive support to minimize the amount of damage done, so those 7s are going to be what protects Lorgon with a low HP count at only level 5 against these Druid Lords, and at 57 EXP, he's going to join Ryguy at level 6. That is for a few more turns, unless Ryguy is able to get another good EXP encounter himself.
And he's looking for it right now, and he gets one against the Warlock, but unfortunately he did not know Warlocks have hurt more.
It's a tough gamble with the Warlock because he had that first encounter where he used Hurt twice, so he never might have seen Hurt more up until then, just kept on getting good luck in his...
Alright, this seems to be the case. Lorgon finds the stones.
I think Ryguy might have found that as well, but I didn't see it in the screen just because he was moving around in the darkness. It was a little bit tougher.
We'll have to take a look at that when he opens up his item menu.
And Lorgon ended up being 12 short of the level. I was mistaken by what the total would have been.
Well, the Wolf Lord will be able to give it to him.
12. I meant, I think 7. My bad. It's 160.
And Lorgon does have the Silver Harp, and not gonna Death Warp out of here.
This is a winnable fight, but it's tough to do with a low attack count like Lorgon has. So this hurt is going to do enough damage, but 7 at a time is going to chip away, and this encounter is going to be another minute.
You're right, it's going to be close, but if the Druid Lord's going to keep on throwing sleep out there, and with that sleep spell blocked, it's going to make for an easy fight. And there it is, Lorgon's going to get level.
Definitely, and it's a good call, but unfortunately, even though it does provide 10 MP, that's kind of the goal, not much else that you'll get that you wouldn't have gotten at 5. The agility, you get 5, you get it at 6, either which way, and that MP is going to be nice to have because you get an extra heal more, and maybe even get a chance to use sleep or stop spell one more time.
That's exactly right. And somebody noting Charlock being too close to home is not well. Fury SK saying need a longer walk of shame. Come on, Fury SK.
Lorgon spending one of those fairy waters from the beginning of the game, taking a trek, hoping to avoid some easy encounters, but I always find when I use fairy water to avoid those easy encounters, I seem to get more magic wyverns, star wyverns, and enemies.
Yeah, it's just a certain way that I don't mind it later on, but early in the game, you want those lower level enemies. Ryguy now finding out that the Wolf Lords have sleep. And Lorgon now finding the Silver Harp Cave, gonna retrace his steps there and get his nice little Staff of Rain.
I am not sure if Ryguy has the Stones of Sunlight. He moved very quickly in the menu. Did anyone from chat say?
Doesn't look like anybody did.
I thought that he got the chest as well, but because I didn't see it, I was hoping. And Ryguy is going to open up a level gap between himself and Lorgon with 1 power, 2 speed, 2 hit points, and 2 magic. Don't spend it all in one place.
And that's returned, so there'll be no walk of shame this time around.
Don't have to when a stone man has hurt more.
That's a big old yikes right there.
And that slime is really paying the price with 21 damage.
It's like the slime is made out of jello.
Lorgon's going to have these 1 and 2 shot encounters that are going to get 10, 12. Going to have the Warlock encounters available to get 28. So it seems like 20 minutes in that 100 experience just being able to pick that off wouldn't be a big deal. But hopefully Lorgon's able to get some of these encounters and catch up that level. But I don't think he's going to be too happy with what he sees at 7.
It's not that much of a level. It's like a level that you would see in Fire Emblem, like a 1s and 2s.
I like levels that I can't roll on dice or on standard dice.
Well, this is going to be some good experience for Lorgon, him realizing that the Warlocks have hurt more, so quick stop spell, able to pound him down, should be good to go.
Yeah, and I also like the timing and how the MP is being spent, because with 8 left here, able to get in this encounter, probably 1 more, gonna get the full maximum result of Death Warping back and starting 7 fresh.
And also, one-shotting Scorpions doesn't hurt either. And this grind is good, and here comes that lower level. And I kind of want to explain something to everyone. People in chat might know it, but if you see in the stats, both of them, the strength and hit points have a plus sign in front of them. That means both of them are running a strength hit point build.
It looks like Ryguy's stream might have frozen. Lorgon starts back with the king, and oh, Ryguy's back in action. Just a little bit of
some problems, but it should be fine.
So Ryguy has more information, a little bit more EXP, but with this Warlock battle, Lorgon's going to be within 1 more battle of tying it up.
Yep, and that's what he's gonna do. He's just gonna spend a lot of time. He's found a good spot for Warlocks, and he's just gonna grind them up. What also helps is that he is close to recovering everything. Sees the Wraith Knight, decides to run away, doesn't feel like it's good enough to fight. And this is where Big Swamp comes into play, because, well, there's an AK, and all I gotta say, today's not a good day.
Well, one important note for Lorgon is Lorgon didn't go over that bridge and find that there was nothing out there. So when Lorgon is exploring the rest of the map and wondering about where things might be, he doesn't have that information that Ryguy does, that's where it ends. He just stopped looking there because it was swamp. I didn't see if Lorgon got a good view at...
I don't think anybody did, and it looks like Ryguy is gonna go west. I don't know if we saw anything around this range. This is where he got stopped by the Stone Men, and thankfully he's able to run away from him.
Well, you get that ideal Warlock battle for Lorgon now. 50% hurt more. The AI is fight, as you can see down there. 3 out of 16 resistance to stop spell. That's going to be important.
Now Lorgon finding wyverns.
I wonder what the wyvern's resistance to sleep is, because that's generally my go-to move.
unfortunately for Ryguy, Stoneman pounds him to pudding. And now the experience lead is only 1 point.
And Lorgon just found out the bad news. A Drachma is a pretty good battle to get to because they're able to be taken down in 2 turns with either attacks or consecutive hurts, and they net 20 experience, so they're a nice little easy pickup, and it doesn't look like they have any.
Nope, nothing true out of the ordinary, but then there's this Droll Magi. Lorgon casts Sleep, and it'll probably hurt him to death.
Well, if the Droll Magi wakes up, I think maybe with that high defense, you'd survive 1 strike, maybe 2, but you wouldn't have the ability to use those hurts if you used to heal more. So this is a bold move by Lorgon, and that gives him the experience. He might be able to stretch this all the way into level 8 if he plays it right. I like the move not to heal. At first, I was really concerned about it, but Lorgon's gonna take the death anyway instead of risking going up to 600. 600 is the EXP count for level 8, just for anyone. And Ryguy does have the Stones of Sunlight, it looks. So in terms of quest items, both players seem to be matching sets. In all items and levels, they're completely matched.
Yep, we have a tie game, and now both of them know where they have to go. It's the only available way to go. Unfortunately, you got some big enemies around that path. You got some wizards, you got some stonemen, and it's a little dicey to run against at level 6.
With the stone men, at least you have the ability to sleep. With the wizards, however, they have that high agility, and right now at a low HP count, you're not going to survive more than 2 shots, probably. And 2 is really lucky, because if you get a low roll on one, chances are you're not getting that lower roll on the other. And if sleep fails with the stone man, the game's... Speaking of game over, here comes the Armored Knight, who would just about take him down in 1 shot, but at 30, you can only take 1 step. You have to heal more at 29, and that's just not...
Yep. Why don't you give these wonderful randomizer a try? There's the link right there in the chat, and also join our Discord. We have races happening every single day. You can also check out the brackets in the tournament. Not only that, meet a wonderful community of Dragon Warrior Randomizer players, and we also have randomizer races for Dragon Warrior 2, 3, and 4. Not only that, give these wonderful racers a follow, ryguy3745 and Lorgon, 2 of our ace runners at 3-0, and also give WillWagnerMusic a follow, Zarnex42 a follow, FurySK a follow, and also give myself sigmafan a follow. We would be most appreciative for that. While these 2 wonderful people are racing in Big Swamp, Short Charlock, No Key race, and the winner of this race goes to 4-0 and has a good shot at the number 1 seed.
Level 8 has 7 power, 9 agility, 10 HP, and I didn't see how much MP. It looks real tight. Right now, Ryguy is able to take out 2 50 EXP enemies, while Lorgon is able to take out the Warlock and get to his level, and they're within 3 EXP, 1 gold of each other, the same exact MP, 1 HP. It couldn't be any tighter. It is Tupperware inside of a vacuum.
I'll have to note that down. Meanwhile, Lorgon runs into a knight. Ryguy couldn't kill the scorpion, so he's being sent back to the castle.
Lorgon is playing with fire right now, opting to go with heal more, sleep, and hurt, using all the rest of the magic in all likelihood to try and win this encounter, but a knight is worth 70 EXP. 70 EXP, can't put a price on that. especially if you can get it in 4 or 5 turns. And Lorgon does 78. In fact, sorry about that.
Can you put a
And we have a
price
metal
on
slime encounter.
Because Ryguy's found a metal slime and gets it.
Now, what's interesting about this is he was able to get that metal slime kill, but it still wasn't enough EXP to bring him to 9 and get that next level, whereas Lorgon gets into another encounter with a wizard and is barely able to get away.
And look at this, Ryguy finds 2 towns. Ryguy finds Rimildar, he's going to be able to heal up and get that 1 free item that's in there thanks to no keys.
Yeah, normally Rimildar is a much happier find, especially in a big swamp seed, but when you don't need keys, you get that 1 chest, stay at the inn, see if there's anything you can afford in the shop, which at 560, best thing Ryguy is looking for right now is a hand axe. Maybe can see something like a chainmail to upgrade. Oh no, wouldn't even help with the armor because he already has half plate, so a copper sword from club to copper sword, that's good enough for Ryguy. It's going to give him a little bit of an attack lead in the early game, 6 in fact.
And now he's going to check this upper town.
And
it's
Cole. Now, we haven't seen the token. We already have the fairy flute. Haven't seen the armor, and it ends up being the
token is huge. That means he knows where the jerk cave is, so that's a plus.
As Z-Man said, Edric's tease, but the good thing about no keys is it actually makes Cole's item shop slightly more.
Meanwhile, Lorgon is running to his old friend the AK, and the AK is going to send him back. Looks like Ryguy, after he stocks up on herbs and everything, he is going to do more exploring. Looks like he needs to find Hawk's Nest or Cantlin and try to find some coordinates. And running into a Star Wyvern is not what Ryguy intended, so 871, I think it's time to do some grinding and maybe get level 9 and possibly get hurt more.
It's really close for Ryguy. I think on this trip out, given a halfway decent encounter rate, Ryguy will be able to get to level 9. With 34 magic, exploring the map, it might be tougher for Lorgon without a good encounter like the Metal Slime in order to reach 9 on this encounter. But if Lorgon's able to get to that town, figure out what else is available, and right in the corner of the screen, we see a stone man blocking the way. Instinct took over. Lorgon wanted to buy keys.
Yeah, Lorgon wanted to try to buy keys, but no keys in this seed.
And, you know, you gotta be pretty happy to see that free gold there, given that you have 2 towns available. If I was Ryguy or Lorgon, I'd see if maybe there's a broadsword available. I gotta say, I'm kind of surprised that they didn't even check to see what was available in the shops, because right here we see that Rimildar is already the prime location.
You can get a grind for that full plate.
Exactly. You have the availability of magic armor, which after Lorgon gets the bad news, finds out that Cole's just Edric's token, now you know a place where you can go and hopefully get some armor that'll help you recover HP as you walk, which they're going to need. Lorgon checks the shop, there's the broadsword, and he takes the attack advantage back from...
You have a 10-point advantage, so that's going to help out when it comes to defeating Magic Wyvern, so that's another enemy style that he could take out.
anyone who's played the randomizer knows when you go to that shop in Cole, you almost don't even look at the armor if you check the shop before you check the search spot because your brain is going armor, armor, armor.
Ryguy runs from the Warlock. I can't understand that.
Right now, Lorgon just had the misfortune of running into a hall monitor between the two towns, and AK-47 sends him back to King.
Meanwhile, Ryguy gets to level 9. Let's see if it's any good. 3 power, 6 speed, 9, 10, and spell of the regular heal.
This seed has been all about a chance at something really happening, and then it not. You see Edric's, and it ends up being token instead of armor. You see a big level game that gives you a new spell and 10 MP, and it ends up being heal, which is, it's useful, but it's not terribly useful like hurt more.
Nope, and we got the Demon Knight blocking Ryguy. He's gonna have to throw in a heal more to stay alive, and he's gonna try to keep on running. Does run, finds a cave, runs into a magician who runs away. Let's see what's in this cave. It is the Jerk. This is where the Jerk was, and he's gonna trade everything in.
Gotta love getting those quest items early because at 36 minutes, Ryguy has already got all the equipment he needs to get into Charlock. The interesting difference between the two players here, experience-wise, is almost exactly that metal slime. I mean, it's not exactly the 255, but you can see the difference in terms of Ryguy was able to get that, and Lorgon, even though Lorgon's been able to take out a few knights, hasn't really been able to make up that 255. Even though he's had to put in much.
And decides against it.
He's got 4 heals left, but the Metal Scorpion has Baby Breath, which is going to send Ryguy all the way back. Probably would have liked to see what was north. And Z-Man, yes, they have short Charlock, no keys, as you saw, and Big Swan. Wow, Lorgon is not playing games at level 8, taking on Charlock. Ryguy, heal mooring, and it looks like he's going to be taking on Charlock because there is no dungeon. You have nothing to worry about except for all the enemies.
Or you could run into somebody who's got sleep and hurt, which is not bad. But Ryguy runs into a blue dragon.
Right now, they're going to get sent back to Tantagal, but it's really only costing them a minute or two. If they can get through that entire walk with only one encounter they run away from, it's a worthwhile risk, especially if the sword's down there, because now you're talking the broadsword upgrading to Edric's sword is good enough, but Ryguy's going to go from the copper sword to the best weapon in the game.
That's the hope, and Lorgon spends a lot of time running. You might want to try to throw a few hurts at him and be able to take him out. Go into the armory first, but runs into a blue dragon.
And Lorgon didn't suffer from not having heal there, even though he had to spend 8 on a heal more to get back to full life. Able to check 2 chests, and then the Armored Knight prevents the checking of the 3rd with an encounter. Lorgon at 21, able to run away.
Got 3 more chests to check. There's the fighter's ring, that's gonna help.
It's interesting, he puts on the fighter's ring, but doesn't intend on fighting anyone. At least not yet here. And both players in the exact same position, the exact same time, hoping to be able to get right into this basement vanilla location, and it's a herb.
Oh wow,
there it is.
That means Swamp Cave, Garanum.
I'm calling it right now. I think it's gonna be in Garanum. But Lorgon's gonna be able to gold grind here, as well as Ryguy. Did Ryguy get to see what was in the basement? I didn't check. I thought that he didn't make it.
No, he didn't. And it looks like he's gonna go check again.
Oh, that is a really big difference here. Because Ryguy, if he's able to get this in one attempt, another minute or two, not really that much loss. Even though without outside, just have to restart back at the king. Oh, gonna skip the castle, not going for the basement, instead staying on the overworld.
Which seems to be a really good. It is the play. We haven't seen what was northwest of Cole and Rimmeldar, so I think that area has to have Potsness and Garanum and Cantlin. They gotta find them there.
I agree. I think up to NG had mentioned that there was a flame sword available in Cole and the gold grind. I think I would make that play too. But I think the players are considering right now they have to find Edric's sword and Edric's armor, and that means finding the last two towns or three towns, and because they're gonna have to go through that dungeon again potentially. There'll be another opportunity once they know the general direction. And as I said it, Lorgon finds one town, and it's Hawksness, which is the most useless town that Lorgon could find currently, because with only 45 HP, Lorgon's not really going to be able to contend with any fighter on the spike tile. But the grave is going to provide a good resource, because there are three chests right available as soon as you walk in. If the sword's in one of them, I don't expect Lorgon to stay in here much longer.
Nope, we have gold. Well, we have the death necklace. That might help. And more gold. He's gonna have to go deeper.
Man, it's like watching these on slight tape delay, because Ryguy is right on his trail, right behind, checks, finds Hawksness. Lorgon involved in a battle right now with what looks like a Magiwyvern, put to sleep, wakes up, attacks, doing 15 damage. Lorgon's going to be able to survive this fight, but at only 6 MP is not going to have heal more available. Lands the excellent blow, gets the EXP. Once again, catches up to within 160 EXP of Ryguy, who's currently taking down a Druid Lord.
Yep, and both these runners know what to do now, and it looks like Lorgon is gonna take out this Magiwyvern. No, he's gonna run.
Yeah, I like that play. At only 4 MP, just short of the next level, Lorgon's going to look for a winnable, guaranteed encounter. Even this Wolf Lord is a risk, but dives into battle, knows that he has some somewhat defense broken, will need at least 6 or 7 attacks to take him down, and Lorgon gets to level 9, ties this level battle.
I think what's best for Lorgon is that now he gets vanilla heal, which doesn't have that much HP. He's got 43 HP. He'll have 52 HP. And it would be cheaper to heal up with 2 heals than to heal more.
I think it matters to him right now, especially at 4 MP, because if there's the last sleep, heal is no longer on the table for Lorgon.
No, he'll have one more sleep and decides to run. He's just gonna go for the chest.
An Armored Knight looks to stand in the way of level 2 and Lorgon at 8 HP here is not going to get away. Armored Knight sends Lorgon back to the king, and Ryguy is able to keep on going through this Druid Lord, just about 90 EXP short of level 10, and who knows what that could bring. Empty out. Oh, I was asking Empty Eye. I wasn't proclaiming that was going to happen.
Lorgon looks like he's gonna gold grind to get the magic armor and the flame sword.
You know where the best equipment is. You only have to get up to about 1750, probably a little bit less because you're selling equipment. I don't mind it. It's another minute, and you know you have to travel on the map anyway. You might as well go with the best gear. The magic armor is what's important right now because Lorgon knows at the location that he's looking, which is the back of Garringham, or I don't know if we can see him going to the bottom 2 levels of the grave just yet, but knows that Edric's sword has to be somewhere where it's a diveable area, considering Lorgon was able to traverse all the way through Charlock and survive. All one level.
That is true, and it looks. Oh, sleep can. It looks like Ryguy will be able to survive this sleep. And we're gonna see what level 10 has in store.
And an armored knight stands between Lorgon and the town to get magic armor. And I don't know if you saw, but I didn't see if Lorgon saved.
He saved. 5109 for level 10.
And Lorgon gets away in the last possible moment, able to get to the magic.
That's right, he's got the magic armor. And we're gonna take a look at this, what Ryguy's got going on right now. Going for that 4th chest. Lorgon tried, wasn't able to pull it off. He ran into an AK. And Ryguy is going to run into a Warlock, going to be able to run away from that. But there is the AK, runs away from that. And we see Erdric's sword!
And there it is. Now Ryguy is in a position where he's going to be able to take down a lot of those 70 EXP enemies in half the amount of time as Lorgon, because Lorgon's got to be concerned about HP recovery, and Ryguy's going to be able to just drop hurt locker. Especially since the fighter's ring was already discovered in Charlock and the death necklace was on the first floor, there's nothing Ryguy's going to find from this cave on the bottom level that's going to be worth sticking around.
And it looks like Ryguy is just looking for somebody to kill him.
You know, Ryguy might naturally get up to the point to be able to afford a full plate of armor just because he's going to be one-shotting enemies like Wyvern.
Lorgon is just going to check what's on the other side of this bridge.
Look at these two different encounters happening right now. 14 damage to a Demon Knight versus 50 damage to a Wraith Knight. In 2 turns, Ryguy is able to just cut through his opponents, and Lorgon has to heal and take 15 and chip away.
Okay, Ryguy goes back. I think he goes Hawk's Nest, because he knows where Hawk's Nest is. He hasn't found Cantlin, so he doesn't know if there's coordinates or not. And I think, and Hawk's Nest just sounds like it'd be a good place. Guy heal more, he can plink stuff down. Half plate isn't that terribly bad.
Now, did Ryguy get into a battle with an Axe Knight, or was it just Lorgon?
No, Ryguy was just killed by an Axe Knight.
Okay, because if Ryguy saw that the Axe Knight had such high MP usage, checking out that spike tile in Hawk's Nest is a really good call, because if you find it's an Axe Knight, you can stop spell and use that Edric sword to its most potential by slicing through the Axe Knight in 3 or 4 turns at 96 attack.
Right, Alright, that would be a good play. Lorgon is now finding another cave. This could be a freebie cave, this could be swamp cave, maybe rescue the princess and hope for Cantlin or back half of Garanum to go through. Who knows what could happen here.
It'll be interesting if it's, well, it's an item, a torch. It's not interesting.
Well, in this version of the randomizer, but I heard rumors that in the new version of the randomizer is going to come out, something is going to be implemented in the new version where a torch could cast.
That is a really interesting proposal. I had heard that for a while, but I didn't know that it was going to be a customizable option. I like that a lot. One of the other ones that I like is if the fairy flute can put metal slimes to sleep along with golems. And as I said that, Lorgon is using the fairy flute on the golem on his screen. I should clarify for Chaos Lord in chat, Edric's armor can only be in Cole, Charlock, or in the Overworld search tile, as Zarnak mentioned there. Because the two players have only found the search tile in
Charlock.
Cole.
Not Charlock.
Sorry,
Hawksnest.
Hawksnest, yeah. Sorry, because the players have only found the one search tile in Cole, and they know that can't be where the armor is, they're going to have to decide between challenging the spike tile in Hawksnest or searching out Cantlin, which has a back area featuring an old man with coordinates, which will direct them to where the search tile is on the map, which at this point would have to be Edric's armor, since they have the other two items that are searchable, which are the fairy flute and the Edric's token.
That's right, and Lorgon has found Garanum, which is not helpful.
Well, it's not unhelpful either, because right now, if that's the swamp cave and Cantlin's on the other side of that swamp cave, Lorgon has a pretty good advantage. Or if Lorgon is able to take on the spike tile of the swamp cave and get the princess, that'll give him the ability to get Wayland's Love, the GPS positioning system that tells you where you are in relation to Tentacle Castle, and we'll have at least one of the items necessary to ensure that they'll have the exact location on the map for the searchable tile.
Right. Meanwhile, Ryguy gets up to level 11. Agility is there, and defense power is almost there.
HP would need to be tripled, or, well, doubled.
Triple would be nice. That would be 171. That is triples. That's triple territory right now.
And Lorgon doesn't even have outside, so if the idea was to go right through this cave and see what's available, not gonna happen on this.
It's not going to happen for Lorgon, but it looks like Ryguy is going back to Hawksnest.
I noticed that Ryguy used the herbs there, so this seems to be like he's looking to challenge the spike tile. Lorgon pulls within one level because since Ryguy got 10, was able to clean up so many more enemies with Edric's sword that he was able to open up an even bigger EXP gap. And he opened up Ryguy unsuccessfully because
GPS Gwalen positioning system.
Yep. And Ryguy is able to get out of the fight with the Demon Knight. Take a few spike tiles here, cast heal, and let's see who's on the Hawksnest spike tile. It is a Stone Man. Now, we already know that the Stone Men have hurt more. They're susceptible to sleep. This is a very winnable battle. If Stone Man comes out of this fight, though, I think it'll be the end of the fight. Because now Ryguy has to use sleep, and this has to land Otherwise, if Stone Man wakes up and casts Hurt More, it could be over before it starts because Ryguy doesn't even have the magic armor, which would drop the effectiveness of Hurt More. And finds
nothing!
It's how this seed has gone the whole time. Just when you think someone's about to open up a lead, you find out they found nothing.
Wow. That's sick. So, now, Lorgon is in great shape.
What? Lorgon went out the wrong side of the swamp cave. It looks like maybe just to go to the inn again, so he could get the benefit of being up that level and getting the MP.
That's exactly what's happening. That's more heal mores.
And even though Lorgon has that experience deficit right now, Lorgon's going to save a lot of time if he's able to find Cantlin, because once he finds out that there's coordinates, he knows there's no reason to go to that Hawksnest spike tile ever. So Ryguy's work that he's done so far will be for nothing. However, if on Ryguy's side, he's able to find Cantlin because it's somewhere beyond the cave, he's going to have a tremendous advantage knowing that Lorgon still has to find Edric's sword as well.
Yep, so it's touch and go right now, and it looks like Ryguy has escaped right now and could be able to find Cantlin quite easy. It looks like a spark over bridge up there. We cannot be sure of that yet.
This is a fairly sprawling map. I'm seeing how far Ryguy is going out here into undiscovered territory, and I wonder if that swamp cave might be attached to one single location, one continent, Pangea idea, as opposed to being two separate islands, because this is a really side.
And here's Ryguy finding the freebie cave. It means nothing.
That weird audio might be from me. I have some construction going on outside, and sometimes the microphone picks it up. My bad if it's me, Bob. And Lorgon has just enough attack where he's able to take down the Demon Knight in 2 shots. It's 98 EXP. It's going to make the trip from 10 to 11 a lot shorter than the trip from 9 to 10, I think.
Absolutely, because he got the sword at 10.
Cow, cow, cow. Cow, 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 cow.
Moo. Anyway, Ryguy only 262 away from level 12. He's got to be hoping for some hurt more.
Well, if you're looking for an exorcist, they started out the sea with 2 fairy waters. If anyone's equipped, it's Ryguy and Lorgon.
And Lorgon's going back into swamp, going back into the grave. That's where he'll get his sword.
It looks like the only thing that can stop Lorgon and Ryguy right now is not having a torch for Lorgon, and oh yeah, not having a.
We're now just trying to find Cantlin. That is the big thing.
So we started off the game at 20 HP. We've gained 37 HP in 10 levels between 1 and 11 here. That is considerably mean, especially on a big.
Very mean indeed. And it looks like Lorgon is going to try to go north from this patch of land. Does it? And it looks like it does not connect to anything. Sorry, it's not going to connect to anything. Nope.
That's the weird thing. I thought I saw Lorgon go into the swamp cave, but I don't know if I saw Lorgon out on the other side. Um, so I don't know if Cantlin might be on the other side of that swamp cave right now.
From what I'm thinking, it's gotta be. Unless he goes this way, because nobody's searched that way yet.
The meanest game of hide and seek, because not only after you find Cantlin, you have to go and find where the coordinates are from Cantlin, hope that they're close enough within walking distance of the castle. If they're not, then you have to go find the spike tile again in the swamp cave, get coordinates, go back to the king. Then finally you have the ability to search for armor.
Meanwhile, Lorgon finds Erdrick's sword.
And that was a relatively quick dive through the cave. That was only a minute or two, very efficient. Unfortunately, without outside, it's going to make it a little tougher to leave. Well, the Axe Knight will help. I'm sorry, Armored Knight.
Unless you excellent move him.
Well, that's going to be a level for Lorgon. Gotta love that.
Yep, 1, 6, 5, 6, no spells though.
Up to NG. No outside spell is not brutal when it's short Charlock. If it's not short Charlock, I get it.
And he's gonna find another Armor Knight and be close to death. He's gonna fight it. He's gonna grind on these Armor Knights.
If possible, I don't know if we ever saw Ryguy use his fighter's ring. He might not have that equipped still, and that could be the two attack difference between the two players right now. Because I know Lorgon has Edric's sword. The big difference in the two players in terms of statistics, magic armor is going to prevent damage from hurt more. It's going to give you some ability to regenerate life, and it makes those armored knight battles way more winnable.
Very winnable. It's, however, both of them are in good shape. It's just a matter of it's now finding what's gonna happen. Ryguy never went into this cave. He knows what it is, and he's not gonna even open up the chest. Runs into an armored knight though.
Lorgon has silently crept up and gotten right within striking distance. Might even be able to get level 12 before needing to go see the king. Not by choice. And Ryguy finds Garanim. I wonder what we're gonna see out of the play this time, because we know they both have herbs to replenish, but Ryguy's got to go through this swamp cave and look what's on that spike tile, right?
I don't think so, because he's in one frame of mind now is to find Cantlin and get the coordinates. He can backtrack and get, even though he's got return, he can backtrack after getting Cantlin, because maybe the coordinates are countable.
Very true, but after you find Cantlin, if you already have the GPS, you can go from that location, so it gives you a little bit more flexibility when you find Cantlin, just in case it is somewhere far away, to go right for it. Hawksness is definitely disappointing, as Lorgon's about to find out. I like the idea. It saves just enough magic to go back home, replenish, heal up, walk off all that MP, all that HP damage, and on Ryguy's side, looks ready to take a dive into the cave, and the EXP battle has pulled within just about 45, it looks like.
Yeah, 45 is the exact number. Ryguy is thinking about something.
I bet he's finally putting together that he has to go through the swamp cave, because That's the only place I can think Cantlin is outside of that stretch very far east that you'd mentioned earlier, that I did see either player go down, that strip of 2 tiles. Yeah, and you could tell by Ryguy puts on the torch. Is this the first time he's been in a swamp cave? No,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, this is the first time he's ever been in Garanum.
Ah, see, I thought that he got there and just skipped it. He's gonna be happy to do the Stone Man encounter. This is a winnable fight, and it's safer than a red dragon, an armored knight, probably, and maybe even a golem. Actually, they have the fairy flute, so a golem would be a little bit safer, but it would be doing more damage.
You're right, it would be doing more damage, but it's a guaranteed sleep compared to a chance of sleep.
Agreed.
Lorgon is exploring this area. Maybe Lorgon is going to go south and find out that maybe there's a patch of land he should go across? Question mark, maybe?
Oh, this is going to be a DN seed. You're going to see an 87 HP gain for level 14.
How do you know that?
You know, whatever I call always happens. That's what they say. Whatever you say as a commentator happens 100%.
And we got a perfect bid from Lorgon.
Come on down to the price is wrong.
Well, the price is wrong for Lorgon.
So that's 11 levels for 37 HP. So that's just slightly over 3. That's nice. That's nice.
Lorgon's gonna check the spike spot in Charlock. Who knows what's gonna happen here?
I really like that move. I didn't think about it when he was going in there. I thought that he was just trying to maybe farm Axe Knights because he knew that this is where he had a pretty consistent encounter with them. But I like this move. You know what the other 2 spike tiles are already. They're winnable Stonemen fights, but if you find an Axe Knight here, you might be the only player who's doing it, and that gives you a big bump because you're dealing 130 EXP at a time, probably only spending enough on 1 heal or a heal more each battle, along with a stop spell, as opposed to Stone Man, which are going to be 2 for sleep right off the bat, along with a heal more in all likelihood during the battle. So I like it.
Yeah, it seems like a good idea, and now it's just a matter of finding Cantlin, but running into a lot of Magi Wyverns.
And we get the ideal encounter for Lorgon, but I'm just glad we don't have to see or hear Lorgon's reaction to level 12, because that 0 HP is going to be met with thunderous boost.
1604.
Ryguy is carrying the princess through the swamp.
There it is!
There it is, Cantlin. Oh no. Oh no. AK-47. This is doubly bad.
Gets away!
Like, at least Ryguy's a classy guy. He's taking her to the nicest inn in all of the land, but it's still kind of grimy to take the princess there instead of back to the camp.
I mean, you got a palace and you got a Ritz-Carlton. I mean, they're kind of the same thing. And it looks like, could the Red Dragon have been the spike? And Lorgon's finally saying, okay, I need to go to Charlock. I need to go to, find Cantlin.
Is there any chance we can bring up the Red Dragon stats? I'd like to see if it has any magic or DL breath.
Oh my god, 99 south, 45 west. This was a rescue me.
I hope Ryguy's got his Fitbit on because oh wait, no, he's got the GPS. He knew that ahead of time. He gets the princess. He gets the Cantlin. He won the showcase showdown, and now he's gonna get the armor. And unfortunately, Lorgon hasn't been privy to the new information that Ryguy has, and is looking on the side of the map where he is not gonna find anything he needs. Unfortunately, even though it was a really good run, I think he's going to check that swamp tile that kind of flummoxed him before, and that's if he's able to get by some of these tougher enemies.
I'm trying to think. 99 south, 45 west. That's got to be right near right near Garrenham, I think.
It could be, because I'm not sure the other side of the swamp cave, but man, I'm gonna take a guess, and I'm gonna say they have to go through the swamp cave and check that first. Well, actually, 45 west, you can figure that out pretty easily. Yeah. Exactly. If you have GPS, you can just walk it off because getting to the swamp cave is just as far of a walk as the walk in that direction anyway.
So it is a race for the armor, and while they're racing, give both of these racers a follow. ryguy3745 and Lorgon, both excellent runners, putting on a clinic for everyone with this big swamp short Charlock no keys race. And while you're at it, also give our wonderful tracker and wonderful restreamers a follow. Snarnex42 for tracking, Fury SK for restreaming. Give WillWagnerMusic a follow as well, my co-commentator, and myself, sigmafan. This is turning into a fantastic race. Only an 80-point difference between experience, but what's gonna hurt Lorgon is that Green Dragon's got DL2 breath. He doesn't know that yet, but now he does.
And Ryguy was playing with fate there, attacking on 14 life for the Star Wyvern, gets hit for 13 at 1 HP, is able to survive the battle, and now Ryguy going back to the back east, it looks like here, and Lorgon starting his journey from the castle with
Yeah, I gotta think it's right near Garrenham. He's gonna check his Gwaylem's love. You might be right, Will. This could be on the other side of the swamp cave.
I mean, either way, Garrenham's in that direction, so it made sense to go there. But I'm starting to second guess this a little bit. Given how the seed has played out so far, it's just mean enough to give you an island that's slightly north of that, where it's like 75 south and 60 west. Oh, and I forgot they don't have Radiant or Outside or Hurtmore, making it all the longer.
Well, the only thing that makes it longer is Outside, and both of these are experienced runners that they could run Swamp Cave in the dark. It's the easiest cave to run in the dark.
Yeah, but at the same time, with Hurtmore, you don't have to 3-hit all these magic wyverns and everybody.
That is true, but I guess they want. But you have a big swamp as well, so I would rather save my MP for Healmores.
Definitely. I just don't think Ryguy's gonna have an issue on the other side of the map finding the healing, because that's where Cantlin is.
Ding, ding, ding. Guess what? Had to go to the other side of the swamp cave.
And it looks like it might be just outside Cantlin.
Ouch. Red Dragon. He's got to fight it.
Well, he doesn't have to fight it. He can just get chewed on. I don't like that strategy, and Ryguy does not like it either. And Lorgan is pacing like he didn't study for the final.
And Lorgon is exploring that area, and we know it's nothing.
I just hope that he's able to get to the coast, because if Lorgon doesn't figure it out, Ryguy's going to have the knowledge of knowing that you need the GPS, you need Cantlin, and you need to avoid red dragons. And insult to injury, there's an area north of here, so there's a chance that Lorgon could get out of this battle with this knight, go slightly north, and still not find the coast, and end up coming back here.
Yeah, it's a massive headache, and it just keeps on going north. It keeps on going north. He's gonna have to burn his last Healmore, and he's gonna find out the bad news up there is more big swamp. And that leads to that Sparkover Bridge.
Are there any herbs left or no?
I don't think so.
This is heartbreaking, because what it makes you feel like is it makes you feel like you're almost there and you're in the right direction, if nothing else. And just find the end, find the end, find the.
There's the end, and there's nothing there.
Unfortunately, there's an area just slightly south of here and to the west. Hopefully, Lorgon's able to go and see that coast too, by recovering that energy from the magic armor. And the magic armor is what saved Lorgon in this trip.
And 13 for Ryguy. 1 power, 1 speed, 1, 1, 1, and 9! Almost a quadfecta.
It's like that old saying, what did the guy with a fat lip and 2 missing teeth from a fight get for Christmas? A kick in the shins.
Oh my goodness, that's hilarious, Rob Draven. The Beethoven stack gain. 1119, 1119, 1119, 1119, 1119, 1119, 1119, 1119.
And right now we got the Armor Knight trying to put Beethoven's 5th right on Ryguy and hit him with that deep kick.
And it doesn't happen.
Well, maybe he's thinking of Beethoven's 7th.
Or maybe that movie, Beethoven's 2nd.
Well, right now there's some dogs giving him some trouble right now, and he's not Charles Grodin, but he's a little bit.
Fury, it's public domain. You're fine.
I know Beethoven. He's a pretty relaxed guy. Doesn't hear.
He's also a cuddly dog too.
Well, now Lorgon gets the bad news of the 9 MP featuring one of everything else, and wants to go home. It's not just less than 5 per level, it's less than 4 per level, because we started at 20. 12 levels later, we have 58. 38 between 12 levels. That's nearly...
Yeah, it's pretty sad.
If you told me after getting this far into the seed and how much they know about the map that they'd still be like needing to stop and buy and restock herbs, I'd think it's because they're taking on a Dragon Lord, but it's just to survive on the map.
And also have enough help to get away from these armored knights. You would think you might have to start battling them.
So, right now, Bass asked which spike tiles they found. There's a Stone Man in Hawk's Nest, there's a Stone Man in the Swamp Cave, and the Charlock spike tile is a Red Dragon. So, not any ideal grind spots with an Axe Knight or a winnable fight versus an AK-47, but the Stone Man is definitely preferable to the Red Dragon in terms of encounter.
That's right, and he finally gets away from that armor knight. I don't think he's got enough to go through.
Man, and this is really the tough cookie, because Ryguy's right there. I could have sworn that he was right by the armor before, but it seems like he's going in a different direction.
He got killed by a red dragon.
Oh, but isn't he going in a different direction now rather than going back to the armor?
He keeps on getting killed, so now he's got to walk through this big swamp again in order to get to Garanum.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot it winds around like this. It's such a big map. I forget how, like, you have to take an S route.
And here's the area where those armored knights are playing. And unfortunately runs into one, but gets away. There is Garanum. Can he get in? What's he gonna do against this magic wyvern? He's gonna run away from that. There he is. He's back in Garanum, so now he's back on the right path.
Yeah, that Hawksness in the middle of a swamp seed is really mean.
Here we go. Lorgon, it looks like, has the armor. Ryguy has the armor sword and is ready to find out the bad news about the grind spot. At 58 HP still, sitting tough at 13 with 58. Yeah, actually, I was curious to know what the Axe Knight's stats were on this seed as well. I'm curious because I think if you can walk around that bottom level of Charlock and get a lot of encounters with Axe Knights, that's prime time at 58 HP.
Sorry, need to make a correction. Ryguy's got the armor. Lorgon does not.
Oh, my mistake. I was like, that was really quick.
No, because I was watching the race. There was a multi-stream happening.
I
And
got you.
I checked in.
Well, right now, Ryguy still has an EXP advantage. We don't know what 14's going to bring. So even though Ryguy has better EXP encounters in Charlock, they're tougher battles still, and they're going to spend more MP, whereas Lorgon's going to get 60, 70, 80 at a time and really not have to spend much because he's got Eric Sword and he's able to one-shot and just chew him up. So we're going to see a spike tile battle for Lorgon, and by the time Lorgon gets it, he might already be at level 14.
It's possible, but the grind spot is friendly. It's a golem.
But I thought it was an RD.
No, it was a couple steps away.
Yeah, I agree, UpNG. It's flute strats all day because you don't have the MP to make that mistake, and you just fairy flute, heal more up to max, and go that way. Because at 255 a clip, if you know you get that encounter rate, at least for the beginning, I like the flute because I mean you don't have hurt.
10 power, 1 speed, 11 hit points, and a new spell of... What do we see? It is outside.
Probably happy to see outside. Oh no, he's going south. Lorgon still hasn't found Cantlin?
No.
Oh, wait, he's not going south. He's picking up Princess. I forgot that he was in that in walk around. I thought that he left. Quietly, Ryguy closes his eyes and settles into a golem grind. I like that a lot.
It's the best grind out of the 3.
Yeah. Now that Lorgon has an 11 HP gain, it doesn't even feel like he's playing the same seed. Like, way to take you an easy way out. And we have competing golem battles, and due to the high attack of the golem and the defense of the players, after every hit, I anticipate them to use some form of healing. Oh, Lorgon does not have the coordinates, and unfortunately the search spot is right outside Cantlin, so he's going to have to get the coordinates, bring back the princess, go back to Cantlin through Murderer's Row, and search just up.
Yep. And as you can see, Ryguy does have the best grind, which is the golem battle. I think Ryguy doesn't have a death necklace either. I didn't see it in his menu.
The princess is pretty cool with Lorgon picking up herbs during the...
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with getting some fresh basil to help the way.
Now he's cooking because he's got the coordinates. He's about to hit return, go back to the king, drop off the princess, and get some new threats. Ryguy is right outside that level, but the golem still pounds for 37 damage, so it's not a guaranteed win versus the golem, even though it is very safe to put them to sleep in general, because if you don't have 4 or 5 shots landed and they just happen to keep on waking up after one on a fairy flute, you could burn a lot of MP in a battle with an enemy that does a lot of damage. Ryguy gets the news that finally outside, but is not going to have much luck against this golem, or I guess if he's looking at Death Warp, is.
Hey, it's not that bad of a death warp. It's only going to take him about 30 seconds to get back to Charlock of how quick it is. I think this is the time where...
I don't think he's going to go back to Charlock. Well, I don't think he's going to go back to the golem necessarily, because the golem took a lot. It took a lot to fight that golem battle, and there were winnable battles before the golem that might have been favorable.
Well, you're right on that. He's gonna fight some armor knights.
To Pyromance in chat, it's a really interesting idea. If he goes into the basement, that 4-tile square, if that's a different enemy set, he might be able to find a new group of enemies. Maybe, I guess werewolves have some danger to them, but wizards and 120 about that level enemies, between that, the armored knight, demon knights, and that sort. Oh, don't want to see green dragons either, but, you know, if it's blue dragons, is that terrible?
Maybe, who knows?
69 is a much better health to be fighting golems at, but you're still going to have to use at least a level 1 heal after one attack, and then after they attack on that, you have to use the heal more.
That is true, you have to use a heal. Lorgon is going to get his armor, and it's just grind time, and Charlock is the best spot to grind because everything else is so far.
Agreed. Unless there happens to be a town where you can hit repel and maybe get a select group of enemies that are more suited to your liking. But we haven't seen that yet. Although we haven't seen a lot of the encounters on the other side of the swamp cave. So if Lorgon finds something he likes, like we already saw that there were golems over there, if he could fight golems and axe knights and blue dragons outside that town after casting repel and have a pretty consistent counter rate and be able to heal right away, it's not a bad grind idea to try out, considering how bad the other spike tiles are. Yes, it's Charlock, big swamp, and no key. Zarnax mentioned Stone Man in the swamp. Yeah, it's a prime location. You have the inn right above that you can't outside to it, but it's within walking distance. So you could walk to Cantlin if you feel like the need to. And the Hurtmore is not going to do as much damage because you have Edgar.
Right, and plus you could also spend a sleep at 2 HP a clip and be okay.
Yeah, definitely. Because even though at 90 they defense break a lot of enemies, they still don't defense break Golem or Stone Man, but they very severely limit the amount of max damage a Stone Man can do with such high defense. So I like a lot about the availability of the Stone Man. I like the KXP they give, and considering how long the Fairy Flute takes to use, you save a lot of time that you spend in a Golem battle protecting yourself. Ryguy has been on this grind for a little bit longer, probably the last 5 minutes or so. 10 minutes ago they were tied just about, and Ryguy's only opened up a 500, now 750 EXP lead. That's 3 Golem battles.
Yep, and Lorgon is almost at the armor, but there's a red dragon. It's the same thing that befell Ryguy the first time. He's dodging, but he's got the Healmores. Can he defeat this red dragon or run away from it?
And it's really tough. You got to be happy to see that 23 roll, because whenever you're facing a red dragon, there's always that potential to see a 4, or earlier in the game a 5. Well, you know the number that follows it doesn't matter because they just...
Yep, and now Ryguy is 2 golems away from getting his level 15. I've got a feeling that you gotta grind to 16.
I think, considering which level gives you 100 HP, and like up to 100. So if they get 31 on this level, awesome. But they don't have the attack power to really consider using getting into the battle and using their HP level to its advantage. And they can't apply the Death Necklace, so they're not in when can I fight the Dragon Lord. It's when can I survive in Charlock without worrying.
And Ryguy's gonna take a safety heal.
Well, unpredictability in Charlock is one thing, but if Lorgon finds a better opportunity to grind experience, you're going to see his lead shrink. Right now we see Ryguy has 43 MP, Lorgon has 55. Lorgon has 1,500 or so in, or 1,300 behind Ryguy experience-wise. On that last level, Ryguy got a pretty nice bump to strength at 13, 6 agility, 5 HP, and 7 MP, which is nice, but I still don't think he's able to attack the Dragon Lord. So we'll see if Lorgon can catch up on some experience on the route to find out what the spike tile is.
Right, and he does have the fighter's ring equipped. We've been wondering all this time whether he does or not.
Awesome. Does he have the death necklace in his inventory too? I thought that he did, but I didn't see him pick it up in the first floor of the grave. Thank you, ETAP.
Yeah, he taps right, 125. He does have the death necklace.
And here we have the 130 clean from the Axe Knight. You spend a little bit on your stop spell, and then you get to walk off damage for a minute. Then when you get to golem fights, you're able to be at a little bit more of a recovered level. Right now, the EXP gap still remains at about 1,300. They're in the same battle. Lorgon has a little bit more MP available, opting not to fight the golems, though. Interesting.
He's going to be regretting them when he gets to the spike spot.
Maybe, but right now he's just going, I hope it's the next night. I hope it's the next. And an excellent move is going to help do damage, but still not quite enough to take down an armed knight. MD, gotta love the fact that when they need to heal, they just use a regular heal and walk it off because it's not worth spending all 8 MP at level 14.
No, it's not. You gotta admit, and M2MG is right, this has been a really trolly seed.
Undoubtedly, with how difficult the map is to navigate, the tease of giving you a lot of things available to you early, and making you, every time you think you have an answer, you have to go just a little bit further.
It's just that little bit more that you have to put out in order to win this race and get to 4-0. And Ryguy is 5 golems away from getting to level 16. He's hoping for a big HP boost, 25 HP. At level 16 would be really helpful, and probably it would be enough to go, in my opinion.
Lorgon opted not to heal more there and will be sent back to the king. And now Lorgon's got a decision to make because we know what the spike tile is. He didn't want to fight golems on the way there. Does he go back trying to grind those blue dragons or the stone men in Swamp Cave? Actually, Hawksness is available too. He might go to Hawksness.
And that's a mistake, unfortunately, because golems are their best grind.
Maybe, but if Lorgon's able to get into battles that are less expensive, and there's an inn more available, and he doesn't have to walk all the way through Charlock, might be able to make up time, but it's tough at this point in the game. If you don't have your grind spot figured out, you've got to know your...
Yeah, and both the Hawksness and Swamp Spike spots are stone men.
Burning the heal more. Now, if 16 is an empty level, Lorgon is going to still have a puncher's chance. But if 16 is anything considerable, then it's only going to mean Ryguy can grind those golems even more efficiently to get up to 17. So, right now, Lorgon is He's scrambling like a.
He's at 74 HP. He needs at minimum 97 HP before he could be good go.
And the golem is behaving because right now it's very high potential to take out Ryguy before he's able to get to level 16. So at 9685, this next battle is going to do it for him. All he has to do is make sure that he doesn't get his face punched.
Alright. It looks like he's gonna beat this golem. Let's take a look at these level 16 boosts. 4 power, 9 speed, 5 hit points! So, nope. We're going to 17.
Hey, but they finally have Hurt More and Radiant.
It's not much of a rise. Not at 16, especially when your attack power is at 129.
Right now, Lorgon, obviously deficit in the XP, but he's getting wizards, he's getting axe knights, stone men. These are all really winnable and they're quick battles. That's the key, because even though Ryguy is taking 5 or 6 turns to win his, if Lorgon can take through a wizard and an axe knight in 3 turns each, it's just as quick, and you don't have to spend the time using the fairy flute. We see the gap is.
Do we see a 78 HP DL attempt with this defense? No.
Oh yeah.
The attack power is not there.
I mean, we can definitely see them. I can definitely imagine they take on the Dragon Lord at 94 or 5 or 6 if it gets really desperate. Like if they get up to level 18 or 19 and they have attack in the 140s or 150s and enough MP to reasonably have a good chance landing between 20 or 30 damage, I could see them taking on the Dragon Lord in their mid 90s, not low probably, but mid.
Max hit at 97 defense points. That's about 44, I would say. 44, 45. But you gotta remember, he's got DL2 breath for Dragon Lord, which is max 48. So, 97 attack is meant to go.
Yeah, Tila brings up a great point. On short Charlock, you don't have to go through the dungeon and pay the price of that 10-minute or 8 to 10-minute trip every time you fail. So you can take on the Dragon Lord earlier, especially given that Charlock is so close to Tentagal, and Ryguy is going to be meeting with the king before going out on his adventure to farm more golems and all that. And Lorgon's also getting Wolf Lord battles here, which don't seem like they're much, but they're 50 and one at a time. Just consume them and don't lose any.
Yes, Panther knows this is short Charlock.
Ryguy's restocking those herbs, which is a great call, especially when you're able to heal up to just above 1 golem strike damage. So if he does 40, you can use an herb or a regular heal, and you don't have to worry about using a full.
Yep. And if you take a look right now, he's got 79 hit points. He'll need 18. However, he might go at 17 or 16. And that's the amount of gain that he would get at 17. He's at 10,400. So 1,600 away. That is 7 golems worth. But this Armor Knight battle will make it only 6.
And over there, Lorgon is still chewing up a lot of these Wolf Lords. Deficit of 1,900 right now. It seems like he's getting way less juicy pieces of meat, but he's getting.
And now he's down to 5 golems that he needs.
17 is not going to be the level, in my opinion. He'd need a 14 HP gain at least, and because I said that, I'm sure he'll get it, but I'm not happy about it.
You would need, if he wants to be safe, a 20 HP gain would be beneficial.
Lorgon
This,
doesn't have to spend any MP really on healing because he can walk it off. And even though Ryguy has hurt more, not using it on the Axe Knights, that's in.
he wants to save up all those heal mores for golems.
Definitely, but if you're gonna be fighting Axe Knights and using Stop Spell, that 3-point difference between Hurt More and Stop Spell is negotiable in my.
Right, but you would lose a hurt more in the, you would lose a heal more in the process.
Yeah, I guess, but it's just 130 to avoid being put to sleep. It's within 1,000 now.
4 more golems to go, and Ryguy will have 17.
So I've been watching back and forth, and the time that Ryguy has spent in his golem battle, Lorgon was able to take out 2 wizards and start the next encounter with a Mega Wyvern. That's going to net more experience than a single golem battle, and that's the main reason why Lorgon has pushed the lead just down to 3 digits. For Ryguy's looking to get to 12,000 for his next level. I believe it's 12,000. Is it 250 or just 12,000 straight? Did I read that wrong? 19? Oh, 19. My bad. My apologies. It's not that huge of a deficit if the Drone Lord doesn't kill him with a 4 attack.
It's just gross right there. But here comes level 17 after this fight with this golem. This could determine everything. And a 49 shot by Ryguy. There it is. Let's take a look at 17. Does 17 have the goods? 4 power, 1 speed. 23 hit points, it's got the goods.
I'm just glad I could help.
Bat. Yeah, he did need to grind 17 because he was only at 80. He was only at 79 HP before that, so he had to grind.
Oh, I think he meant about returning rather than taking on the Dragon Lord because he was already that close. When you can just return to the king that quickly, I think you could take a stab at the Dragon Lord, unless you like, oh, I can definitely do it with full MP. But I don't know, well, he should be able to, with George Charlock, be able to accomplish it on this run, and it's safer, but I wouldn't have been upset if he went for the Dragon Lord 2 there. I think that was a winnable.
It's a winnable attack, but the problem is he would only have 8 heal mores.
It's definitely a really tough fight, but if it takes 3 minutes to get out of Charlock and go back to Breckenary, or to go back and heal at the close town, I think that's 3 minutes you can spend in the battle. And if you get into the Dragon Lord and you realize you're not in competition, start throwing out hurt mores and just worry about respawning. And yes, you can choose seeds as long as both players agree to it, Gorator. Gorator. Gorator.
Ryguy's gonna pick off this last golem. Meanwhile, Lorgon having problems with the red dragon.
With 11 heal mores going into the final fight, if possible, Ryguy has a fairly comfortable buffer. 98 defense ensures a very low physical attack, giving maximum opportunity for doubles. I'm not really worried if he goes into the fight with only 9 heal mores.
And we have a fool, and we are ready to go. Ryguy is with his first Dragon Lord fight, 34 to start. He gets a stop spell. He is good. And physically, he's more than good.
And at 98, he will not be double attacked here. So even though he gets jumped for the maximum amount of Dragon Lord 2 breath, doesn't have to worry about using a heal more because it's protected at 50 HP from the maximum damage of the Dragon Lord 2.
He's gonna gamble. And pays off with a 1.
That is such a risk. I applaud the bravery, but even at 48, I am scared here.
Comments are saying they probably had to be ambushed, and he's getting low rolls twos, 11s, 10s, and 10s.
Yeah, that's some unfortunateness. That heal more was so low. That heal more, I think, only healed him up to something in 80s or around that, like 85.
Yeah, and there's the first 15. It didn't heal him up that much. It was the low heal roll, because heal mores are 85 to 100, but he was able to pull it off. And there's a 14. He should be okay. I don't see him pulling a swag more. I don't think it's necessary. An ugly low roll with a 9.
Lorgon's over there, one battle away from his next level. And it's going to be interesting if Lorgon can get that level before death warping back to the king. Lorgon might have a jump on a second encounter if for whatever reason this doesn't go Ryguy's way. And it's not out of the wood yet. It's very good for Ryguy if he's some teens. Yeah, there we go. 15. He needs that.
This is you'll have 2 shots. 14. He's got one more. Can he pull it out? He got it!
Oh, wow. On the
Barely
final
got
one.
it. Get your GG's out.
That was a great battle. Well played by Ryguy. Everything that could have gone wrong in terms of RNG seemed to, but played every encounter completely right. Fighting at 47, fighting at 48. Just really, it took every bit of what he had.
He had to gamble. The gambles paid off. Ryguy wins. He will go to 4-0 in this very close, very exciting race. Holy cow!
In under an hour. And to get that triple at the end, that last attack not only had to be an attack instead of Dragon Lord 2 breath, which is 50-50, it had to be a low attack because the Dragon Lord was doing as much as 45 just a few turns before. So it was really key that everything fell exactly how it did for Ryguy, because I think if he loses that battle, Lorgon has the jump of it on him of going into Charlock, and then it's anybody's game.
Yeah, because you never know how things are going to go on this. But this was truly, but Ryguy takes some gambles, Half well, and he's gonna wind up winning the match. He will go to 4-0. I'm hoping we can get Ryguy in for some commentary, and I'm breathless after all that.
Definitely, there were some points where it was really really shaky. Some bad luck goes one way or the other way, and Ryguy got the luck when he needed it.
The lucky low roll at the end from the Dragon Lord able to give him that one hit, because if Dragon Lord breathed fire, he would have had enough to do it. Now we could sit back and watch Lorgon Lord with one less heal more.
Does he? I think he has the same. I think it's he has 11 as well. It's just that the Armored Knight's trying to stop him from doing that. And I believe that we have our 4-0 competitor Ryguy in chat.
Ryguy, congratulations, sir. What an excellent race, and we were sweating with that Dragon Lord fight at the end.
I think you might be muted, Ryguy.
Whoops, the mute boss got me, sorry.
It's alright. Once again, congratulations. We were sweating at the end. That was close.
Yeah, I was saying, I was sweating too. You know, I had the hurt moral queued up, but I thought on his last attack, I knew I was in range. So I took a swing, hope he had low HP, and then he gave me a second swing. So that made up for the back attack anyway.
It does make up for the back attack. Tell me about your thoughts on this seed. It was really trolly, but that was kind of by design because of the big swamp.
Yeah, you know, I practiced a few of these, and these are really fun when you start off with like 40 HP, or when Cole is like one screen away with the armor or something. They're not really fun when you have to go to the second coordinate to get coordinates, and you have to walk all the way through a bunch of swamp and armored knights and red dragons to get to Garenham, to get to Swamp Cave, then rescue the princess, and go back through all that stuff again.
Oh, so 58 HP at level 12 or so isn't ideal?
You know, not for big swamp, no, not really.
Okay. Yeah, that seemed it seemed like it wasn't fun. Especially because I think you had half-plate armor that whole time too, so it wasn't even like you were recovering from magic armor. You were doubly.
Yeah, the one thing I did do that I think helped me was I did level 1 gold grind for the silver shield, and at least I was taking less damage from enemies and defense breaking things. But yeah,
That was necessary.
Yeah, as it turned out, I don't know what I would have done without that.
Meanwhile, Lorgon tried to do some swag stats. It looks like he's gonna... They didn't work out at all. It looks like he is... I think that's the forfeit right there. And hopefully he will join us in an interview. It was a good effort by Lorgon. Just the rolls didn't break his way at the beginning of that DL2 fight. Not at all.
Yeah, it was a tough fight even at 17 when you finally found a.
Yeah, you know, I wasn't sure what I was gonna do if that Dragon Lord hadn't given me that free attack at the end. I wasn't sure if I was gonna try again. I knew it was possible, or if I was just gonna sit on that golem grind 18. I probably would have given another try if I hadn't gotten that extra attack.
Yeah, because you were right on the fringe of 17. It's not like you had accrued experience from a long Charlock dive. That's one of the negatives about the short Charlock, is that if you fail or your opponent fails, they can jump right back in, and it only costs them a minute or two, as opposed to diving through all of Charlock, which takes, as much as like 8 or 10.
Yeah, but the good news was it gave us that golem grind spot, because otherwise I didn't want to walk all the way to Swamp Cave to get the Stone Man, or all the way to Hawkson's to get the Stone Man either.
Definitely, and I think that ended up being a good grind spot opportunity. You didn't spend much magic there. Lorgon opted to try to grind in a different location, just slightly west of Hawksness, and found some 120 EXP enemies and some wolf lords. And I believe we have Lorgon joining us right now.
Ooh, I'm not the only one that got caught by the mute boss.
I was curious to see how my in-game grind was going versus whatever I was doing in the endgame. Those hill styles were pretty kind to me.
I went to Golem and Charlock, and the flute was really kind to me. I knew about those hills tiles, but I didn't have hurt more at the time, and I didn't want to sit around on 120-point wizards, so I got really good flute luck as a kid.
I'm curious how quickly you got Erdrick's sword. I tried dying the grave earlier and died to an armored knight on the fourth, or on the floor before the fourth chest, or maybe it was just before I even got down to that floor. I can't remember.
Oh gosh, yeah, that was the other point of luck that I had. I went for the grave. I went for the bottom of the grave, and I think I ran into an armed knight like 3 steps away from that chest, and had a first try run and picked up the chest. So I got really lucky there. Same thing with Cantlin. I got an armored knight like 3 steps out of Cantlin and ran from it too. So they were actually.
I got a red dragon 3 steps away from picking up Erdrick's armor. Unfortunately, I managed to run from it. I was going to be really upset at that point. Yeah, it sounds like maybe you got the sword ahead of me and probably the armor ahead of me. I explored most of the first continent before I even visited the second continent. I don't know about you.
I think I did too. I don't know. As soon as I found Garrenham, I went over the second continent, but it took me a while. So.
And I see a question in the chat about skipping the armor. You can't skip the armor versus the Dragon Lord, especially with 100 hit points.
Yeah, I saw Zarnax ask that too, and I briefly considered it. Like, do I really need this armor? But I can't take 72 to the face against the Dragon Lord with 80 some HP or 90 some HP. So.
And grinding also becomes difficult because you don't have hurt more until 16, so you need that Erdrick's armor in order to recover some life as you're going through the grind.
Yeah, that was the other problem too. Is I was rocking the half plate armor, and there was no way I was trying the Dragon Lord with the half plate. I hadn't even seen or looked for magic armor, so.
It was in coal.
Oh, yeah, I had magic armor for a lot of the scene.
Was it coal? It was coal or Rimlar, one of the two.
It was Rildar is where I picked it up.
I think it was in both locations, though.
Once I gold grinded for the silver shield, I just resigned myself to saying, like, I'm going this full half plate until I find the armor, so.
Yeah, in Big Swamp, I had the opportunity after I got 3 chests out of the grave, and you just picked up Rick's sword. I had died before I got down to the bottom 2 chests, and I was like, I have a gold grind available. I saw that there was magic armor in Remolder. I'm gonna go pick it up. It could help me out.
Oh yeah, I level 1 gold grind, so I just stopped caring about gold once I got the silver shield and half plate. Just like
yeah,
I said.
I reset to level 1 gold grind to get the silver shield.
And
then I did a second grind because I knew the magic armor was there, and on Big Swamp it could help.
Oh, okay.
Keeping it in stereo.
I was gonna say, like, once I did that first gold grind, I was kind of resigned to my fate of like I got this half plate until I have the armor. So
There was a back and forth feel to the whole seed. I think that the first EXP gap opened up when the metal slime kill happened. That was really the distance between the 2 players for a lot of that point of the match. But it was even closer where Ryguy, I think you and Lorgon were trading EXP leads up until an hour 30 or an hour 40 into the seed. It was kind of going back and forth. At about that point, after you had gotten the armor first, I think that's when you were able to concentrate in a grind and open up around a 2k lead.
yeah, that was the problem I noticed. Like I knew I needed the armor because again I was rocking the half plate, and it took a while, and I knew my EXP was sort of sitting at the same spot the whole time as I made long walk to Garrenham, got killed, made the long walk back again, got killed, made it. So, yeah, I just wanted to get to that grind phase, and I figured I could make up whatever experience gap there was once I had that.
And when you finally won, I presume you won on level 17, but maybe on a second try, possibly. It seems like 17 was close but winnable with 12,000 experience.
Yeah, 17. I went on 17. I picked up 17 for on Golem. And it came down to the last attack, but yeah, I got him the last swing. First try.
I see. I got I think it was my low roll for 8. Maybe I could roll 7. I can't remember. But I got 2 8s to open the battle and did not get through Dragon Lord 1 with all of my resources because I think I got back attacked on Dragon Lord 2. So after you already won at this point, before I even got down to the Dragon Lord. And so I think I threw 6 hurt mores at him and asleep, and none of them landed.
6 hurt
Yeah.
mores, man.
Oof. But yeah, Ryguy only lost 4 health in the entire DL1 fight.
I see. So a little bit different than mine.
Yeah, I did get back. Oh, I guess you got back attacked by DL also, but yeah, DL1 was really nice. I had all my herbs ready to go, and I didn't need them at all.
I see. I only had 1 herb, and I needed it just to survive the DL2 back attack.
This goes to show you how close this is. Well, I'd like to thank both of you for a fantastic race, and especially for giving us a spicy flag set, as Basp33 pointed out.
Yeah, it's kind of fun to do these ones. You know, we play standard a lot, and it's kind of cool to break out the different flags from time to time.
Yeah, Ryguy and I have broke out different tags a little bit just when we're doing casual races in the past as well. And yeah, he pointed out since we were both 3-0 and had both made it to the brackets, this was an opportunity to play a little bit more fast and loose than we normally would. And so this is a flag set that I've done a few times. I'm glad that it kind of went back and forth to try to keep it interesting because it ended up being a really slow seed. Big swamps can be, but this one in particular with the late hurt more and the fact that the armor was like the farthest away thing to possibly find is like definitely a slow swamp seed.
And don't forget 57 HP on level 12 or whatever it was, so we could trudge through a whole lot of swamp with that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that's
saw
a good
that. It was
point.
gross.
Yeah, I hadn't really even thought about it much. Honestly, until even level 16, I'd hardly even glanced at my stats. Like I knew the hit point was low. And I could just tell based on how I was hitting that the attack power wasn't quite there. And then all of a sudden we got 23 hit points. Um, and I was like, oh, this might be enough. Now it's time to actually look at the stats after I got 17 again.
And apparently there was like 1 HP over 4 levels.
That
which is
happens a
gross.
bit in Big Swamp because it gives you 10 extra hit points as a bonus at the start, and then those bonus trickles away by level 10. And so if you're only getting a few hit points around level 10, the algorithm that the seed uses like makes those levels 11, 12 really awful.
Big
Yikes.
Swamp gives you plus 10 HP. I didn't know that.
Yep, so I think you like normally your min hit points is like 10 or 15, and in Big Swamp min hit points is like 20 or 25. I don't remember exactly what it is.
I was just glad on level 10 we didn't get the infamous 255 HP gain.
I think that's been fixed in this version of Randomizer.
Aw, that was my favorite. Especially going to check and see if it was real before realizing what had happened.
Yep. Before we sign off, I just want to let everybody know what other races we have today. At 7 o'clock, Concave 6 on MTI. We do not have a restream of that yet. Check the Discord when that becomes available. But right here, Randomania, 9:30 p.m. You want to watch this match. Edge Stream versus Jack's Wedge. This is going to be another 3-0 match. The winner goes to 4-0. This will be fantastic. You don't want to miss that. Also, on RPG Limit Break, 10 p.m., Captain Green and Lord of the Synth will face off alongside JJ Schmidt 77 and Monsieur Slime at 10 o'clock on RPG Limit Break. So we got a great night of randomizer action for you. All those times Eastern. So if you're on the West Coast, 4 p.m. for Cupcakes versus MTI, 6:30 p.m. for Edge Stream and Jack Maswed, and 10 o'clock and 7 o'clock for the quad stream between Captain Green 7, Lord Since JJ Schmidt 77, and Monsieur Slime 12. So let's grade somebody. What do you say?
That sounds like a great plan. If you had seed and you were able to pick any exotic flags, and you got another round coming up next week, so it's worth thinking about. What kind of flags you look?
Dragon Warrior 4 flags, all of them.
I'm down to do a Dragon Warrior 4 race.
I kind
Should
of enjoyed. I kind of enjoyed this flag set, and I don't remember when I first came in if I said "GG right guy," but GG. I kind of expected, as I was doing the grinding, like that's when I started looking over at SRL pretty frequently, and I was like, I expect he's going to win at some point here. But I'm glad it was as close as it was.
Yeah, GG's to you too, Lorgon. I was kind of doing the same thing, especially on my golems. I was, wasn't sure if they were the fastest or not, and I kept glancing over, like, I'm going to see a dot any minute now. So, yeah, I was very close. It was a fun flag set too. I'd be down to do those again.
I love our Charlock no keys. But those are just the best.
I always prefer short Charlock, but Big Swamp is tough. I like the idea of having no keys to protect yourself against Big Swamp being ultimately.
So yeah, this flag set's kind of interesting. You've got one flag that's trolling through the big swamp, but you have two flags that are helping you: the short Charlock at the end and no keys at the beginning. So it's an interesting balance for.
Yeah, and with Breckenry and then the rainbow drop being available so early to give us 7 more chests, I really thought that we were gonna get like a huge leg up. But then the fact that the sword was reasonably far away and the armor was super far away quickly kind of negated that. I didn't see what was Ryguy's final time.
About 1 hour 56 minutes.
Oh wow, yeah, that was much longer than I expected. So thanks to all of you guys, restreamers and commentary and tracking, because I know on a Friday afternoon it was not as easy to get together. So we appreciate you putting together the production.
Yeah, thank you Sigma, thank you Will, and thank you Fury for putting this together, and also not just the time, also putting up with the different weird flag sets. So thank you all.
Oh, it was fun to watch. We thank you for that. So it looks like we have a raid target, and we're gonna get that all set up. Just want to say we're raiding F. Coughlin. So for Ryguy, for Lorgon, two great runners, Fury SK and WillWagnerMusic, and our restreamer who I've forgotten.
Fury SK.
There you
All right, he was the restreamer. Anyway, this is sigmafan saying good night. Good night.